Episode 31 of Wasteland Weaponistics. This one will be all about the Sig Sauer series of pistols. This episode will cover 3 different variants of seemingly the same base design. The first of these pistols first appeared in Fallout 1, and they have reappeared in Fallout 2, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 76. Now, these pistols don't really have a true name, except for the version that is found in Fallout 76. So first we'll look at the one that appeared in Fallout 1, the Sig 14mm pistol, which was featured, like I said, in Fallout 1, but also reappeared in Fallout 2. From Fallout 1, we know this is a Sig pistol. Fallout 1's description of the pistol. A Sig Sauer 14mm auto pistol. Large, single-shot handgun. Excellent craftsmanship. This is a pistol that fires a very large 14mm round. That would be about 55 caliber. That is a fat round for a pistol. Now, there have been pistols chambered in very fat rounds like that in the past. Usually they're from the 1800s, like the Tranter series of revolvers chambered in the .577 caliber round. But there's not really a modern pistol chambered in something that big. And the main reason we don't see huge rounds like that today is because US laws actually prohibit this. You see, in the United States of America, any round that is over 0.50 of an inch in diameter is considered a destructive device, and requires a special permit in order to own. Now there are some exceptions to this, that being most shotguns, muzzleloaders, guns made before 1898, and weird one-off sporting exceptions like the giant .950 JDJ rifle. Well, more of a cannon, but it got an exemption somehow. So, under US law, the Armstrong 100-ton gun that fires a 17-inch or 450mm projectile is not a destructive device. You can fully own this thing, if you found one for sale. Now, the Sig 14mm pistol is an entirely fictional design, but it seems to be slightly based on the real-life hammerli 280 pistol. This is a Swiss target pistol from the 1980s. Now, target pistols are always some of the weirdest looking firearms because they're not really designed for ease of use or combat. They're just designed for straight accuracy, so you get very weird things like this pistol. Now, the hammerli 280 is a very interesting design, as it not only has the magazine in front of the trigger, like on an old Mauser broom handle, but the pistol also doesn't have a slide, and is charged from the front. It's kind of hard to explain how this works through words, so I'm going to have a video linked in the description showing how the hammerli 280 works. Now, the hammerli 280 was chambered in 2 different rounds. You could get it in 22 long rifle or 32 Smith & Wesson long wad cutter. Kind of a weird round to be in a semi-automatic, but that's what it was chambered in, as that is a very old revolver round. And neither of these are very large. 22 LR is very small, and 32 Smith & Wesson long isn't very big either. So what type of locking system the 14mm pistol is using to fire these gigantic 14mm rounds is anyone's guess. The hammerli 280, I believe, is just a straight blowback pistol, but I could be wrong. I couldn't find much information about it. Now, for real-life large caliber handguns like the Desert Eagle or the Wildy or Wildy Survivor, they are gas-operated with a rotating bolt, almost like miniature rifles. The 14mm pistol could operate similarly to one of these, or the 14mm pistol could have a mechanism like the newest hand cannon pistol on the market, the FK Brino. The FK Brino, or Brno, BRNO pistol uses a type of short recoil locking system. Now, in Fallout 1, you can find the 14mm pistol mostly being used by just raiders and scavs, like Neil, the owner of the Scum Pit, and Lorraine, the very strange, random green-haired woman. I don't think there's an explanation of why she has green hair. I believe she is also the only NPC, human NPC, to have green hair in the entirety of Fallout. Could be wrong about that. There's a lot of random NPCs in Fallout. Now, in Fallout 2, the 14mm pistol is sold at multiple vendors. One can find them in the town of Reading's sheriff office as well. And I'm going to guess that the 14mm pistol did see some type of military issue. Maybe not common but it seems to have been adopted, because in Fallout 2, while you can't find the pistol itself, you can find 14mm armor-piercing ammo at the Sierra Army Depot. And the 14mm pistol is the only gun in the Fallout universe to fire 14mm rounds. So, it was either adopted by the military, or maybe it was one of the officers' or advisors' personal carry pistol. And when the bombs fell, they just left the ammo behind, taking the pistol with them. In the Fallout 1 intro cinematic, a power armor unit either uses one of these 14mm pistols or a Colt 6520 to execute a Canadian rebel. It's kind of hard to tell which pistol this is due to the kind of low resolution of the graphics back then. So, we move on to the next pistol in the series. That would be the 12.7mm pistol of Fallout New Vegas. This one's clearly based on the 14mm pistol, but firing a smaller round. Not much smaller, but it is indeed smaller. Besides the caliber, the biggest change is the magazine is now inserted through the grip, just like a regular pistol. Unlike the hammerli, this one charges almost like a Nambu pistol. This is odd, as the 12.7mm pistol still has the frontal cocking grips that the hammerli has that are also present on the 14mm. So why this charges completely differently, from the lore perspective, no idea. It just seems like a weird choice. From a gameplay perspective, it was most likely done so that they could reuse pistol animations, as the 12.7mm pistol shares reload animations with the 9mm pistol. However, to me, this doesn't seem like it would work. The angle of the grip would make it so the magazine would have to be curved at a very weird angle. It would have to be overly long as well. But we know what the model of the magazine looks like, and it's nothing out of the ordinary. So how this pistol feeds around into the chamber, I don't know. Maybe there's some type of claw-like system, like inside of the real-life Boberg bullpup pistol. You can find the 12.7mm pistol being sold at multiple vendors of the region, like from the Gunrunners, and even the Brotherhood of Steel Knight Tories will sell them at her shop every now and then. However, the Brotherhood of Steel does not use these 12.7mm pistols. At least not the Mojave chapter. Now, in the Mojave, the most prominent user of all the factions is the NCR. NCR troops stationed at Hoover Dam have a lot of these pistols. Cassandra, the commanding officer at Hoover Dam, is carrying one herself, and multiple troops around the area can be found using them as well. Now, NCR units stationed elsewhere in the Mojave have a chance to spawn with these pistols, but it's very rare, and even when they do, they're in very poor condition, like seemingly about to break. My guess is when the NCR occupied the Hoover Dam, they found a large amount of these pistols stored there and distributed them among the troops in the area, and slowly they've managed to trickle out into the wasteland. The Great Khans, another faction of the area, also uses 12.7mm pistols, however, it's kind of rare as well. Now, in Fallout New Vegas, there is one unique 12.7mm pistol. That is Little Devil. Lil is spelled like how rappers usually spell it, L-I-L. Fun fact, there are over 8,000 rappers with the name Lil in their rap name. The first musician to ever use Lil in their name is Lil Rodney Key from the 1970s. So, Little Devil is somewhat of a pocket-style version of the standard 12.7mm pistol. It's shorter, features a modern black Hogue-style grip. Little Devil also features higher base damage, a faster rate of fire, better critical chance, and pretty much is just better every way, except one, it cannot equip the silencer mod. Little Devil is sold at Mick and Ralph's. We don't know who made it. Was it some type of pre-war variant sold by Sig, or did someone post-war make it? Couldn't tell you, there is no lore on Little Devil. So, we move back in time to Fallout 76 with the Crusader Pistol. The only one on this list to not get a caliber designation in the name. The Crusader Pistol was added to Fallout 76 with the Steel Dawn expansion. When this pistol was first added to Fallout 76 in the PTS, it was known as the Chimera Pistol. And honestly, this is a much better name for the pistol than Crusader, as the Crusader Pistol has the ability to change between multiple ammo types, much like how a Chimera is a mythical beast made up of multiple different beasts. Why they changed the pistol's name to Crusader, I have no idea. It just seems like a very weird change. This might just be a coincidence, but in the Fallout New Vegas mod, called Fallout the Frontier, there exists a faction called the Crusaders, who were formed by former Brotherhood of Steel members. What do you think, just weird coincidence, or a reference to a mod? I mean, other Fallout games have made references to fan-made creations. In Fallout New Vegas, the Nuka Breaker weapon is a direct reference to Fallout Nuka Break, the fan-made Fallout show. For the Crusader's pistol design, well, it's clearly based on the 12.7mm pistol and the 14mm pistol, but it's way more advanced. The grip is especially more modern than even the one featured on Little Devil. The overall design is also a lot sleeker, with the cocking piece in particular blending in a lot more to the weapon than the 12.7mm pistol. And the front cocking pieces are not present on this design, and instead it has some type of venting system in their place. Now, the way the magazine works on this pistol is especially unique. It went back to being in front of the trigger guard like the original 14mm pistol, but it slides on. It doesn't get inserted like a regular magazine. I thought this was very odd. It seemed like a very weird way to reload a pistol. And I couldn't find an equivalent real-world pistol that does this. At least not during my time of looking. Maybe you can find one that... But one day, you won't believe this. I was watching a random movie. I just picked a random movie, and I picked a Tom Selleck movie. The movie is called Runaway. Now, not to spoil the plot of this very old movie now, but in the movie, the villain, who's played by Gene Simmons, yes, Gene Simmons from the band Kiss, is equipped with this fantasy sci-fi pistol. In the movie, this pistol fires tiny micro heat-seeking missiles. In the movie, there is one scene, only one scene in the entire movie where you see him reload this pistol. It only lasts a few seconds, even if that. And you see him slide the magazine onto the front, just like the Crusader pistol. This scene immediately made me think, that's the Crusader pistol. That's where they got the idea. I mean, the pistols are similarly shaped. The magazine is mounted on the front. It's also a similar shape. And I wonder if this is where they got the inspiration for the pistol. Fallout has taken obvious references and just straight up copied weapons from other series. So this wouldn't be beyond them. Like I mentioned, the Crusader pistol can fire multiple types of ammo. It starts out firing just standard 10mm ammo. However, the pistol can be changed to fire 5.56 rounds. It can also fire lasers using microfusion cells, pyro-infused 10mm rounds, and even cryo 10mm rounds. Well, not powerful enough to freeze a target like a cryolator, they will still slow a target down for 3 seconds. All of these different ammo mods attach to the bottom of the pistol where they slide in like a magazine. This has to be one of the most advanced guns in all of the Fallout universe. Changing out a little model in the front of the pistol, you can turn this from a 10mm to a pocket energy weapon. Why even use the other laser pistols when this exists? I almost want to say that the Crusader pistol is an almost lore-breaking design. However, Fallout is not actually very consistent with its energy weapons. Sometimes you'll run into a design that looks like it's straight out of a 1970s sci-fi movie. Other times you'll have a weapon that's from a cyberpunk-style universe. And the amount of modularity with this pistol makes me wonder if this is the Fallout equivalent to the real-life US military modular handgun weapon system that resulted in the SIG M17 and M18 getting adopted, as they were also meant to be modular handguns, and the SIG M17 and M18 have been adapted to multiple different roles. You can configure them into a PDW. There's even a company working to where you can turn this pistol into an assault rifle. So, like mentioned before, we don't actually know why it's called the Crusader pistol. Was this its pre-war name, or was it the name that the Brotherhood of Steel gave it? There's not a single reference to this pistol during the 2 campaigns of Steel Dawn and Steel Rain. We know it's a Brotherhood of Steel pistol, as it bears the white Brotherhood of Steel logo. And in the promotional art, Night Shin is holding the cryo variant of the pistol. However, he doesn't use it in-game, instead having an automatic version of the AER-7 laser rifle. And in fact, no members of the Brotherhood of Steel use this pistol. They don't even make a reference to it. The Crusader Pistol is given as a random reward from the daily ops missions given to you by Vernon Dodge, the last member of the first Appalachian Brotherhood. Maybe this pistol was used by the Appalachian Brotherhood, but like I said, it was added during Steel Dawn. So it's very confusing to where this pistol came from. All we know is it has a Brotherhood logo on it, and Night Shin is shown using it in promotional art. Now, the mod attachment plans are acquired from the United States Secret Service, who are located in Vault 79. Don't take their inventory as too, canonical. They're basically just the dumping ground for all new items. Now, you can also get the plans and mods from a woman called Minerva, a traveling merchant with the Blue Ridge Caravan Company. She has a very unique, almost superpower-like ability that she can copy plans from any faction in the Waste. She will sell Brotherhood of Steel plans, Secret Service plans, Raider, Settler, and even Enclave items. However, her inventory constantly changes every week, and she moves locations very often. Well, that'll be all for the Sig Pistol series. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more. There's also my main channel, Trooper Fofo, that features all type of random gaming content. Alright, see you next time.